Hello everyone. Today we are starting a new and very interesting chapter called Agriculture Part 1. In this part we will learn the basics like economic activities, what agriculture means, what a farm system is, and also learn about subsistence farming. So let's begin our journey from the farm all the way to the food on our plate. Before we start, let's see what we will learn today. By the end of this part you will be able to explain how wheat becomes flour and then bread/biscuits. Identify the 3 economic activities. Define agriculture and arable land. Understand the farm system. Inputs, processes, outputs. Explain subsistence farming and its types like shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. So by the end of the lesson you will feel like an agriculture expert. Now let's warm up with a quick 2-minute activity. Question 1. A farmer grows wheat. Bread is made in a factory. Which economic activities are involved? Question 2. What do you think a farmer needs before growing crops? Like seeds, tools, water, what else? Take a moment, think, and tell me your answers. Great. Now let's move into a story to understand everything in a smooth way. Now imagine this. 3 friends, Gurpreet, Madho, and Tina, are walking through a village. They see a farmer tilling the land and adding manure to make the soil fertile. They also notice something interesting. The farmer grows wheat, then sells it in the mandi. From the mandi, the wheat goes to factories where it is turned into flour. And from flour, we finally get delicious bread and biscuits. So agriculture is not just farming, it is connected to many other activities too. Now let's understand those activities properly. All the work people do to earn money is called economic activity. There are 3 types. Primary activities. These include things taken directly from nature like agriculture, fishing, gathering. Secondary activities. These are factory-based activities like steel making, baking bread, weaving cloth. Tertiary activities. These are service activities like transport, trade, banking, insurance, advertising. Now think again about wheat to bread. It clearly shows how all 3 activities are connected. Now let's focus on the main one. Agriculture. Agriculture is a primary activity. It includes growing crops, fruits, vegetables, flowers, rearing animals like cows, goats, poultry, etc. Agriculture is very important because around 50% of the world population is engaged in agriculture. In India, almost 2/3 of people depend on agriculture. So agriculture is not just a job, it is a major support system for the whole country. But farming does not happen anywhere. It needs certain conditions. For agriculture to happen successfully, we need a favorable topography, land should be suitable, a good soil, a proper climate, sun, rainfall, temperature, and crops grow only on land that can be cultivated. That land is called arable land. So remember, not all land is arable. Only fertile, usable land is arable. Now let's learn a small but interesting fact. Where the word agriculture came from. The word agriculture comes from Latin. Ager/agri means soil. A culture means cultivation. So agriculture literally means cultivation of soil. Simple and meaningful, right? Now there are some special terms related to agriculture. Let's explore them. Now here are some very interesting agriculture-related terms. A viticulture, cultivation of grapes. A horticulture, vegetables, fruits, flowers for commercial use, cherry blossom, carrot. A sericulture, rearing silkworms, bug. A pisciculture, breeding fish in tanks or ponds, fish. These words may look difficult, but once you know their meaning, they are easy. Now let's move to a very important concept. Farming as a system. Farming is not a single activity. It works like a system, just like a machine. A farm system has 3 main parts. White heavy checkmark inputs. Things needed before farming. Like seeds, fertilizers, machinery, labor. White heavy checkmark processes, work done on the farm. Like plowing, sowing, irrigation, weeding, harvesting. White heavy checkmark outputs, what we get at the end. Like crops, wool, dairy, poultry products. So the farm system is inputs, processes, outputs. Now let's go deeper into the inputs. They are of 2 types. Farm inputs are divided into 2 groups. White heavy checkmark 1. Physical inputs, nature-based. Sunshine, temperature, rainfall. Soil slope. White heavy checkmark 2. Human inputs, people-based. Labor. a machinery, chemicals, storage. So farming is a combination of nature plus human effort. Now, there is one farming method where chemicals are not used at all. Let's see that. Organic farming is a special type of farming. It uses organic manure and natural pesticides, and it avoids chemicals, genetic modification (GMO). So organic farming is considered more natural and environment-friendly. Now, agriculture has different types too. Let's learn them. There are two main types of farming. 1. Subsistence farming. 2. Commercial farming. Subsistence farming is done mainly for family needs. Commercial farming is done for selling in markets. In Part 1, we will focus mainly on subsistence farming. So let's understand it clearly. Subsistence farming means farming done to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Its features: a low technology, a household labor, small output, a mostly traditional methods. It has two main types. 1. Intensive subsistence farming. 2. Primitive subsistence farming. Let's start with intensive subsistence farming first. Intensive subsistence farming is common in areas where population is high. Its features: small plot of land, simple tools but more labor, a fertile soil and many sunny days, a more than one crop grown per year. Main crop rice. Other crops: wheat, maize, pulses, oilseeds. It is mainly practiced in South Asia, Southeast Asia, East Asia. Now let's move to the second type, primitive subsistence farming. Primitive subsistence farming is more traditional and older. It includes a shifting cultivation, a nomadic herding. Both are still practiced in some regions today. Now let's understand shifting cultivation first. Shifting cultivation is also called slash and burn farming. It is practiced in Amazon basin, a tropical Africa, a Southeast Asia, a Northeast India. How it works: trees are cut and burnt. Ash mixes into soil and makes it fertile. A crop's grown: maize, yam, potatoes, cassava. But after some years, soil fertility decreases. So the land is abandoned and farmers move to a new plot. That is why it is called shifting cultivation. Now this method has different names in different places. Let's see. Shifting cultivation is known by different names in different countries. A Jumming, Northeast India. A Milpa, Mexico. A Roca, Brazil. A Ladang, Malaysia. So even though the method is similar, the names change depending on the region. Now let's learn the second type of primitive subsistence farming, nomadic herding. Nomadic herding means herdsmen move from place to place with animals. It is practiced in Sahara, Central Asia, Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir. Why do they move? Because they need fresh fodder and water. Animals include a sheep, camel, yak, goats. Products obtained: milk, meat, wool, hides. So instead of growing crops, they depend on animals for survival. Now that we learned everything in Part 1, let's revise with a conclusion. Now let's quickly revise what we learned today. White heavy checkmark agriculture is a primary activity. White heavy checkmark it depends on soil, climate, and topography. White heavy checkmark farming works like a system. Inputs processes outputs. White heavy checkmark subsistence farming is done for family needs. White heavy checkmark primitive subsistence includes a shifting cultivation, a nomadic herding. So today we clearly understood the basic meaning of agriculture and its farming types. In Part 2, we will move into commercial farming and other important topics. That's all for today. Thank you.